Hey everyone, welcome to the video. Breaking down today's MLB main slate for today on DraftKings. Before we continue though, if you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate that. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitter at cpen_16, that's with 2 N's. Anyway, let's get into the slate. So first off, I want to show you my model and who it likes at pitching today, and I am agreeing with it today. It's got my favorite 4 pitchers in the top 4. And number 1, it's got Jose Barrios, Charlie Morton, and then Max Scherzer, and then Jacob Junis. And then in terms of value, it has Barrios number 1 and then Junis number 2, which I do agree with today. And the numbers are wacky. They're not going to score 70 points, but just pretend it was lower because it would be the still same having Barrios as the number 1, even if the numbers were lower. So, but that's my preferred options today, going with Barrios and Junis as my SP1 and SP2. It's going to allow us to get some good bats in, like the Red Sox, which I really want to do today. And let's head over to Plate IQ and show you some of the numbers of why I like these guys as soon as I fit this screen back. Okay. So Jose Barrios today, I think it's just an awesome matchup versus the Tigers. It's the lowest Vegas total today. The Tigers only implied 2.86 runs, which is actually below Max Scherzer against the Pirates. The Pirates are predicted 3. And Barrios has an awesome matchup versus the Tigers. They have such a low team ISO. I believe this year it's 102, which is lowest in the league. They strike out 25% of the time, and there's just nothing to really be scared of. Castellanos is good, but other than that, this lineup's just nothing to be concerned about. And Barrios has been really good to start the year. I wouldn't be surprised if he got double-digit strikeouts. He's elite versus righties, and Tigers have a ton of righties here. And even the lefties are really weak, like Stewart and Candelario. So I think this is an awesome matchup for him. He should be able to excel, and I like the savings we get off of Scherzer. He's about 800 cheaper, and I think the matchup's a lot better for him. So I really like Jose Barrios today. But if you do want to spend all the way up, I still don't mind Max Scherzer. But the reason I'm not as high on him is just because of the matchup versus Pittsburgh. I prefer to attack southpaws against Pittsburgh because they're pretty decent versus righties. As you can see, they only strike out 17% of the time, which is one of the best in the league. So I mean, Max Scherzer, it wouldn't surprise me if he struck out 12 and gave up 0 runs and went the whole game because that's just who he is. I think he's the best pitcher in the league. But I do like the savings we're going to get with Barrios, and there's a lot less strikeout upside, in my opinion, in this matchup. So I am going to side with Barrios, but I have no problem if I'm going to go with Scherzer because he's probably overall safer just because of how good he is. And Barrios, I mean, he's not on Scherzer's level yet, but I do like Barrios' upside with this price today more. But Scherzer is a fine option as well. And the lower end of the bunch is going to be Charlie Morton, who I think is an excellent matchup, and I think he's a really good pitcher. I really like him I really liked him coming into the year, and the Blue Jays just aren't very good. They're going to strike out a ton, 23% of the time, but that top half of the lineup is going to strike out a lot, and they just don't have a lot of power. I actually do like McKinney today just for salary reasons, but other than that, it's just a really weak lineup. He's elite versus righties, and we have a lot of righties in this lineup, and the lefties aren't too much to be scared about, but well, I guess I don't have a ton of righties in the lineup, but he should be able to navigate his way. And the Blue Jays have just been getting mowed down this year. I know the Orioles pitchers mowed them down, so no problem if we go with Morton today. He should be the lower end of the bunch. And then Jacob Junis is my preferred SP2. I think a lot of people are going to go to Marcus Stroman, but he just doesn't have any strikeout upside, and I'm not a fan of him. And I don't want to attack Tampa right now. I think they've been doing decently well. So I'm going to take a pass on Stroman. I just don't like the upside there. I know he's really cheap at 6,800, but I much prefer Junis in this matchup versus the Indians, who just got mowed down by Homer Bailey, who's an absolute trash can. So Jacob Junis is going to be on my radar today. Indians just don't have a good lineup this year. I mean, Jose Ramirez, he's been ice cold to start the year, and this lineup's just really bad. The bottom half of the lineup's a free square for any pitcher. They'll strike out a ton. And Junis has some strikeout upside. I know he's going to give up a lot of hard contact, though, but he's pitching in a nice pitcher-friendly stadium, which I know it hasn't really been the start of the year, but he's going to give a ton of hard contact. I'm not saying he's a good pitcher, but he does have some strikeout upside, and the Indians lineup is really bad. I mean, if you get to the bottom of the lineup, we're talking Perez, Miller, Stamets. It's just really bad, so I like his chances of getting some strikeouts. He's probably going to give up a couple runs, but I don't know. I mean, Homer Bailey did really good, and I think this guy's better than Homer Bailey, so... And we used Brad Keller a couple days ago, and he had 10 strikeouts. So definitely like Junis here. He's going to allow us to get some bats in if we go with the Barrios-Junis combo. So definitely like that. Let's talk about the bats. Number 1's going to be the Red Sox again, as they have been the whole weekend. But it's just another awesome matchup versus a really bad lefty in Means. It's not a big sample size, so I don't expect him to have a 2.90 xFIP for long. but he's going to get crushed by righties. And this lineup is chock full of amazing righties. So I love the top 4 in this lineup. I want to get the top 4 in my main lineup today. Dustin Pedroia is going to be leading off. He's only 3,700. He's at second base, and I mean, he's going to be leading off, and he's cheap for the Red Sox, so I'm all about that. Mookie Betts is the #1 play on the board. He's got 368 ISO versus left-handed pitching, 500 WOBA. It's just an awesome matchup for Mookie Betts. I really like these guys. I think you're going to have to get them in for cash. Steve Pearce, 255 ISO, 410 WOBA. He crushes left-handed pitching. And JD Martinez, well known for his ability to smash left-handed pitching. So I love these guys today. Even Christian Vasquez is in play just because he's at the catcher position. But I think you're probably going to have to... I think he's a little bit expensive. I want to say he's like 3,500, so we might have to go cheaper if we're going to fit on these expensive Red Sox bats. But this is the top stack of the day. They're projected over 6 runs. I just think they're an absolute smash spot. I would try to get in as many as you can. And definitely in cash, I would try to get in Betts and JD if you can. And then for the my second team offense I like is going to be the Minnesota Twins going against Jordan Zimmermann. I think this is going to be sneaky. They're going to be lower price. So this, if you want to go 2 expensive pitchers, you might be able to fit this stack in. Jordan Zimmermann's not good. He's going to give up a ton of hard contact. He actually gives up a lot to the righties, but lefties as well. And this is a decent lineup. Max Kepler's in play leading off. Jorge Polanco, Nelson Cruz. He hasn't been playing a lot because they've been playing National League, so he's been sitting. So he should be well rested. I'm sure you can smash against him. 237 ISO versus righties, and Jordan Zimmermann's kind of reverse splits. So Eddie Rosario, CJ Cron's even in play, and so is Marvin Gonzalez. So really, this whole lineup's in play. They're pretty cheap too. They're all around 4,000. I know some of these guys are in the 3K range. So if you want to go expensive at pitcher, I have no problem going with the Twins. I think that's sneaky, and they're projected about 4.8 runs maybe. So I think they're in a really good spot. And I also like the Yankees at going against Rodon, the lefty. These guys can smash left-handed pitching. DJ LeMahieu leading off, he's fine. Aaron Judge, 280 ISO versus lefties. Gleyber Torres, just absolutely amazing numbers. Will strike out a lot, but he should be hitting third, and we know he has a ton of power. Luke Voigt, 440 ISO. I know it's only 54 plate appearances, so that number will go down, but so far he's been smashing left-handed pitching, and really that's probably all I would target from this lineup, but they're in some great spots. But the weird thing about Rodon is he kind of gets smashed by lefties. I mean, he's not that good versus righties either, but versus lefties, he's really struggled. And then I want to talk about some of the value bats I like, because we're going to need some value bats, and I think my #1 value bat today is going to be Billy McKinney. I know I like Charlie Morton today, but he's only 3,000. He's going to be leading off, and Morton can struggle versus lefties. So I think this is actually a really nice spot. It's going to allow us to get some of those Red Sox bats in. So Billy McKinney is a really nice cheap play today. Also like Curtis Granderson from Miami, Vince Velasquez. I think Vince Velasquez is a fine play today. Not one of my core plays, but he's going to struggle versus lefties. Gets up a lot of power to them. So I think Curtis Granderson leading off is just fine. Neil Walker's okay too as well. And then a catcher, I had Mike Zunino listed, but he's actually not playing today. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the catcher yet. I'd probably just fill that in last and just see who fits. And also, I like a couple of these Oriole righties going against David Price just to get some salary relief. I believe it's Rickard. Yeah, Rickard. He's got 212 ISO and 342 WOBA versus left-handed pitching. And David Price gives up some hard contact to righties. So if you need a salary savings, I don't mind Joey Rickard as well. Alright guys, that's all I have for the video. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate that. You can follow me on Twitter at cpen_16. That's with 2 N's. And good luck today.